Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my lifter Michelle's vlog. And this is our third and fourth workout of the week. For those who don't know what our rotation looks like, she does 6 days upper lower. This is what we are doing for bikini and figure contest prep coming up. We'll continue to try to put a little more muscle on her as she gets leaner, and then she's going to start dieting even harder. This is our middle rep range part of the week. So we tend to go a little heavier with any of our stuff down. That's going to be, towards that 6 rep range with some 10s at the start of the week with the big barbell lifts. Then we come over to a lot of like 10 to 12, sometimes a little bit of 8 to 12, but mostly 10 to 12 through the middle of the week. Obviously a bit more isolation through here. And then we tend to do pump day and more isolation, more machines mostly towards the end of the week. So here in the middle of the week, normally we would have started with her incline bench there, but the incline was taken and she's like, I need to get my workout done. She's like, can I use the hammer strength or whatever? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So she messaged me, told her go ahead and do it. So she did that. Notice how much more muscle she is gaining, right? And we're technically in a deficit. She does a lot of cardio. She's under 2,000 calories a day. Yet we're getting thicker. Like, notice how thick she looked in that. And the same thing on some of these other lifts. She's gaining muscle, right? We're gaining it off of muscle memory. We are gaining it due to optimized programming, optimized food. So again, we're seeing her lifts and her strength just continue to skyrocket, right? Everything is going up. It's going up extremely well. We're hitting PRs on everything every single week. Now the pull-ups there, she got 3 sets of 12 again, so that didn't PR today, but it is a PR for the week. Now I used to have her at 15 pull-ups. Before she spent the few months away from my coaching, and now that we've got her back on her, everything's coming up. And I want you guys to notice, look just overall. You see that the triceps are thicker, quads are thicker, everything's coming up. So again, we are gaining the muscle. We're gaining it pretty rapidly. And the thing we've realized is that long term, the way her genetics are, the way she's responding to stuff, she may have to do figure. Okay, but we're going to continue to try to push for bikini for this first show. Okay. She's doing her posing coaching separate. That came up in my stream somewhere. You should do pose. I'm like, no, I'm not a posing coach. Posing coaching is its own profession, right? I'm a strength and conditioning coach, fitness coach, hypertrophy coach, all that stuff. That's the stuff I do, right? Posing is its own expertise. You want to hire a specific posing coach who that is what they do, is their job. Okay, and that's what she's done. She got a posing coach. So what are we doing for the rest of the work here? We're seeing all these other lifts. We see some barbell rows. We saw the decline dumbbell. Okay. Then, of course, we have the dumbbell curls. Did we miss the tricep work again today? I don't know if we got tricep work recorded for this one, or I missed it in the download. All right, so we do those dumbbell upright rows, which you guys notice. Notice how thick she was in those. Notice her shoulder girdle once it was pumped, right? Everything's coming up. It's coming up really well. And of course we do dumbbell curls here. So for those who aren't understanding, we generally do one exercise per muscle group each of the days. Other than things like chest and back, and some of those we do 2. Quads and hamstrings sometimes get 2. So again, it puts us at around an average of about 18 to 20 sets a week. So her volumes are very, very high. Okay, the volumes are high. Cardio is high. Conditioning work is high. But again, remind people, she pretty much lives like a pro athlete. She has been a pro athlete before. Okay. So her lifestyle is kind of geared towards that. So again, we have to understand with her training volumes, people say, well, you can't do this or that type of training. And even I say that because most people's lifestyles isn't optimized, and it's not going to be worth trying to chase 1% more gains with all that work, right? Well, in her case, she is literally the exception that I described there. Her lifestyle is perfectly geared for recovery. All right, so we started off there with the hack squats. Notice the depth, that was a PR. All right, this is a PR. Technically, because we lost reps, some people would say not, but when you factor in, it's a 10% increase. In bar weight, for only losing 2 reps, yeah, that's PR territory. So she did 245 for 3 sets of 8 on RDLs. Right? Her deadlift is probably way up. I'm keeping her deadlift and squat and stuff reeled in on those heavy days, and I'm going to bring them up gradually. I know she's outpacing the weight that I'm having her use. She's aware of that. I'm aware of that. All of you are probably aware of that at this point. I'm keeping those patterns in relatively heavy for when we come back to some powerlifting. Because I want everything to really be about hypertrophy. All right. And she just won the contest here, which we've discussed. She got 11 reps with 405 on these calf raises. This is what I wanted. Okay? I want people to note, though, notice her calves are bigger. They are growing. And this is what we had to do. I had to get, and because I understand her mindset extremely well after all these years. I've coached her a long time. We know each other pretty well. That's what she had to have. To get her calves growing really the way that I wanted, I had to put her into a competitive environment against another hyper-competitive athlete, in this case, me. So she just won. Gave her big congratulations. Right? Big congratulations. So she's got up to 405 on those calf raises. Now, people will argue that's more of a mid-range because you're not up on a block. Doesn't matter. It grows calves. We know it grows calves. Anyone who's done it knows. We get the stretch on the seated. Now, keeping in mind, we do standing and seated calf raises all 3 days. Because, again, bikini and physique purposes, you want as much calf as you can get, really. Realistically, there she is doing her split squats. Notice she counts her steps there. So she gets her foot perfect where she wants it. All right, up next we do dumbbell split squats. So this ends up giving us, if you guys notice, our quads get six sets on each of these workouts, right? So they do get plenty of volume. All right, but notice here, just like you saw on the other stuff, quads are getting bigger. Slowly getting that sweep. She was really struggling with the whole sweep with, again, VMO and everything at the bottom. We're now getting all these deep squat position movements. It's coming up. Notice the traps and shoulders there, by the way, while she's doing those. Again, it's getting thicker than a Snicker. Right? That's the idea. That's what we want. We gain muscle and then strip down the body fat. But in this case, she's getting leaner. Her waist is smaller. It measures smaller. It looks smaller. Okay? So again, everything is flowing. Everything is flowing exactly how we want it. And for people who are like, well, she's not quite lean. She's not lean enough for that. We're months out. We're about to start dieting harder. Keeping in mind, we're in a deficit now and she is getting leaner. All right, we're going to spend some time really dieting hard. And then as she gets leaner, the way we're going to work this is the long-term plan. She's probably going to keep abs almost year-round to make the dieting process easier as she does multiple shows. Okay? We're just now getting started. All right, here we go. Her adding all of her extra ab work, which these are some of her different ab exercises. And again, her core, ridiculously strong. Now, other thing that we do have to think about, I'm not going to go into all of it, she does deal with some inflammation and stuff in the GI tract, around the waistline, stuff that we're going to work on, okay? Stuff that we are working on with different aspects of the lifestyle to get that under control, okay? I'm not going to go into the fine details of that because it's not relevant to most people. You don't have her situations, and so therefore it's not relevant to you. So not a big deal other than to say that it is still a factor, and we are working on those things to get that waistline tightened up and to get that water weight and inflammation out of there over a prolonged period of time. And then, of course, she finishes up with the other ab work, which is, again, ridiculously strong. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.